Good morning, America. For our viewers in the West, a shift in the race for the White House. Vice President Harris gaining momentum.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Wrapping up her first major campaign blitz in the battleground states with running mate Governor Tim Walz. As former President Trump pushes false conspiracy theories that Harris used artificial intelligence to create images of fake crowds. There were actually thousands of people there.
The U.S. moves a guided missile submarine to the Middle East as Iranian officials double down on their threat to retaliate against Israel and the new fallout from a deadly airstrike on a school in Gaza, with the next round of ceasefire talks in jeopardy.
Deadly plane crash investigation. The search for answers in the black boxes after the passenger plane was caught on camera spinning down to the ground. The alarming new report on cancer in men, projecting cases and deaths will nearly double in the decades ahead. What may be behind the increase?
Battle over bronze. The new twist in one of the most controversial moments from the Summer Games. Gymnast Jordan Childs told she has to return her bronze in the floor exercise as USA Gymnastics vows to fight the decision.
ABC News exclusive, Saving Graceland. The woman who helped stop the foreclosure sale of Elvis Presley's estate after an alleged plot to try to steal it tells her story for the first time.
Behind the scenes of Disney's Ultimate Fan Event. Meet the new class of Disney legends and all the big surprises from D23, from the screen to the seas to the spectacular new lands.
'Cause you're a sky full of stars.
And a golden weekend. The women's basketball team capturing its 8th consecutive gold, giving the U.S. 40 gold medals in the Paris Games. As Tom Cruise soars into the closing ceremony, starting the race to the 2028 Games in Los Angeles.
I don't care if you do.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
This is Good Morning America. What a great moment at last night's closing ceremony. Tom Cruise getting us all ready for the 2028 Games in Los Angeles. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a hard act to follow what they did in Paris.
Yeah, it sure will.
Wow.
But we're looking forward to that in 4 years. And also this morning, the Biden administration taking on frustrating customer service calls. The new proposals aimed at saving us all time and money.
First, the race for the White House. Vice President Harris and Governor Tim Walz completed their first swing through battleground states, as new poll numbers show them pulling ahead in some of those key states, drawing false attacks from Donald Trump about the crowd size at their rallies. Rachel Scott is tracking the race from Washington. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, George, good morning to you. This is an entirely different campaign, 1 week out from the Democratic National Convention, and a new poll shows that Vice President Kamala Harris is gaining traction in those critical battleground states. All of that really not sitting well with former President Donald Trump, who has resorted to pushing conspiracy theories about the crowd size at her rallies and questioning her racial identity. This morning, Vice President Kamala Harris gaining momentum in the race for the White House. Wrapping up her first major campaign blitz with her new running mate, Governor Tim Walz.
You are battle-born. And if Donald Trump wants to pick a fight over our most fundamental freedoms, we say, bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on.
A New York Times Siena poll shows Harris has a 4-point edge on Donald Trump in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, within the margin of error. And enthusiasm for the Democratic ticket has skyrocketed since President Biden dropped out of the race. Walz addressing a crowd of 15,000 in Phoenix, making this dig at Trump.
But Arizona just couldn't leave it alone, could you? It's not as if anybody cares about crowd sizes or anything. So.
Trump has long boasted about the size of his rallies, just days ago claiming nobody has spoken to crowds bigger than me. And now the former president pushing conspiracy theories on social media that Harris used artificial intelligence or AI to create images of fake crowds, falsely claiming there was nobody there. David Plouffe, a senior advisor for the Harris campaign, writing, "These are not conspiratorial rantings from the deepest recesses of the internet," adding the author could have nuclear codes and be responsible for decisions that will affect us all for decades. Trump has been struggling to pivot to a new Democratic ticket, doing everything from questioning Harris's racial identity to mocking her intelligence and lashing out at new polling.
Kamala is grossly incompetent and, in my opinion, has a very low IQ.
He's now taking her on her pledge to make tips tax-free, something he has promised for months, calling it a Trump idea. The former president also putting immigration at the center of his campaign, vowing the largest deportation effort in American history. Our John Carl pressing his running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, for specifics.
I think it's interesting that people focus on, well, how do you deport 18 million people? Let's start with 1 million. That's where Kamala Harris has failed, and then we can go from there.
And in another twist this weekend, the Trump campaign claimed that it had been hacked by Iran. It pointed to a report from Microsoft that said that the Iranian hackers sent a phishing email to a top campaign official. Microsoft did not specify which campaign that was, and the Trump campaign has not provided any further details, George.
Yeah, we've seen foreign interference in our elections going back to 2016 at least. Rachel Scott, thanks very much. Robin?
And George, now to the Middle East, the U.S. moving a guided missile submarine to the region as Israel is bracing for retaliation from Iran and Hezbollah. Tom Sufi Burridge is in Tel Aviv for us with the latest. Good morning to you, Tom.
Good morning, Robin. Yeah, it's a highly unusual move. The Pentagon going public about the location of a guided missile submarine, moving it to the Middle East, the U.S. boosting military assets in this region once again. Over the weekend, President Biden telling Iran not to attack Israel at this high-stakes moment. This morning, the Pentagon moving a guided missile submarine, the USS Georgia, to the Middle East. The location of that sub, armed with cruise missiles, normally top secret. And by also speeding up the redeployment of an additional aircraft carrier to the region, the US upping its message of deterrence, telling Iran and its proxies to back down. Iranian officials this weekend doubling down on their threat to retaliate against Israel after 2 key assassinations in Tehran and Beirut. President Biden still pressing for peace.
I'm working literally every single day and my whole team to see to it that it doesn't escalate into a regional war, but it easily can.
And with Israel's war in Gaza raging on, a major US push to renew ceasefire talks now in jeopardy. Hamas stating there is no need for, quote, more rounds of negotiations or new proposals, saying it's committed to an agreement on the table weeks ago. It comes after Israel struck another school in Gaza Saturday, killing more than 90 people, according to Gaza's Hamas-run civil defense. The IDF saying the death toll wasn't that high, and it took out around 20 terrorists with, quote, high-precision munitions. But the White House expressing deep concern about reports of civilian casualties and asking Israel for further details. And guys, this morning, the IDF saying it intercepted 30 projectiles fired by Hezbollah from Lebanon. The IDF striking back, and we're just getting a statement from Hezbollah saying a more significant retaliatory attack against Israel for the killing of one of its top commanders is coming and will be, quote, painful. Michael?
All right, Tom, not the words we want to hear. Thank you, Tom. We're going to turn now to the plane crash in Brazil that killed 62 people. Investigators are now reviewing the black boxes after videos showed the plane as it appeared to fall out of the sky. Transportation correspondent Gio Benitez is here with the latest on this tragedy. Good morning, Gio.
Yeah, Michael, good morning. This really was incredibly tragic and troubling. You can see that crash right there. And still this morning, days later, we don't know exactly how it happened. And as investigators try to solve that mystery, so many families are left grieving.
Over the weekend, the families of the 62 people who died in that plane crash in Sao Paulo gathering together just hours after investigators recovered the black boxes. Terrifying video captured the final moments. You can see the ATR-72 twin-engine turboprop operated by Brazilian airline Voapass spinning down. The crash itself hidden behind a row of trees, but we see smoke billowing after the plane crashed in a residential area. The big question now, how did it happen?
In looking at the pictures of this airplane coming out of the sky, literally falling, even though it was turning a little bit, it was very clear to any pilot that that was a stall spin situation. And the question is, when did they get into it in terms of altitude, and why could they not get out of it?
The plane itself was not that old. It flew about 14 years. Some experts wonder if ice could have built up on the wings. Brazilian officials had been warning of severe icing in the area.
It is not impossible to consider a scenario where there's so much ice on the wings and building up so fast that it effectively redesigns the wings and brings the stall speed up. That could have led to this accident, but keep in mind there's never just one cause.
And it may take some time, of course, to figure out exactly how this happened. But we should tell you that even though this particular plane is very popular around the world, no major U.S. airline actually flies it here. But this is still a major crash, and we need to know exactly why this plane went down, Robin.
We certainly do, Gio. Yeah. All right. Our thanks to you. Now to the latest on the fatal police shooting of Sonya Massey. The Illinois County Sheriff, who has faced mounting criticism, is retiring. DeMarco Morgan is here with the latest details. Good morning to you, DeMarco.
Good morning to you guys. Well, embattled Singleman County Sheriff Jack Campbell says he's retiring at the end of the month. The announcement comes after the now former deputy he helped hire, Sean Grayson, shot and killed Massey in her home back on July 6th after she called 911 for help. The sheriff saying, quote, "I will not risk the community that I swore to protect." He went on to say the tragic death of Sonya Massey has been a heartbreaking event for our community. The one person truly responsible for this act is in jail, and I truly believe justice will be served through the legal process. Campbell also says he has even had threats to his own life related to the case. Sheriff Campbell received mounting pressure to step down after the disturbing body cam video of former Deputy Grayson shooting Massey was released to the public. Massey had called to report a suspected prowler, and in the body cam video, you can see both Massey and Grayson going back and forth in a conversation. Minutes later, things would take a deadly turn when Massey is shot dead after removing a pot of hot water from the stove. As for the former deputy, Grayson has pleaded not guilty and remains behind bars.
As far as Sonya Massey's family is concerned, of course, they're still grieving. They're still calling for justice. Have they responded to the sheriff's retirement?
They have released a statement through their attorney, Robin, Ben Crump, who basically is calling this a turning point and justice for Sonya Massey, saying, quote, "Although the pain of her loss is still fresh, Sonya's family is willing to work with the outgoing sheriff for the remainder of his tenure to help heal the community and achieve full justice for Sonya." But a lot of eyes are watching this case.
And her family continues to show an enormous amount of grace. They really do. DeMarco, thank you. George?
Okay, Rob, we're going to go to the White House now, where the president is unveiling new policies this morning into business practices that cost consumers time and money. Elizabeth Schulze has the details. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, George. This is a new push from the Biden administration to try to cut down the time and money that Americans spend wrangling with companies over customer service. One target here is so-called doom loops, where you're stuck on the phone with an automated response or talking to a chatbot instead of an actual person. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau plans to propose that companies like banks need to let customers talk to a human representative by pressing a single button. The Federal Trade Commission is also on the verge of finalizing a new rule that would make it easier to cancel your subscriptions. So if it takes you one click to sign up for a membership to a gym or for an app on your phone, it should take you one click to cancel it too. A similar regulation could also be applied to internet and cable subscriptions. Importantly, these proposals are not yet finalized, so it would be months before they take effect, and they could face legal challenges. It's part of a broader effort from the Biden administration to try to lower costs by urging companies to slash hidden fees in industries like airlines, concerts, and credit cards. It's clear that the White House is trying to send a message now ahead of the election that it is taking steps to address the reality that many households are still struggling to pay persistently high prices. Michael.
All right, Elizabeth, thank you for that. Now it's time for some weather. Let's go to Ginger. Good morning, Ginger.
We barely got a breath before we had to talk about the next tropical storm, which should be Ernesto by tomorrow. So I want to take you through it. Let's start at St. Martin, St. Kitts. Many of the Leeward and throughout the Caribbean islands are now on tropical storm watch because we got this area of storms. It is booking it west at 25 miles per hour. So by tomorrow should be Ernesto and should be slowing down just enough to pass with lots of rain. Like Puerto Rico right now in a tropical storm watch could see 3 to 6 inches widespread, up to 10 inches. And that's a problem when you get some of the elevation that's there in the rainforest. But moving its way, then most of the modeling taking it toward Bermuda. And so we're going to watch for the steering winds from that high pressure system that are always part of the steering, but also this trough that could keep most of the East Coast safe from this. We would have rip currents and high surf, just as a note. Also wanted to mention, we're not done with whatever was left of Debbie. This is from South Carolina. Early this morning, they had so much rain. Remember, a lot of those rivers take days for them to reach their major flood stage, and flooding is still ongoing there. We also have that stationary front that's sitting around, so flood warnings west of Charleston. Those are flash flood warnings, many of them in southeastern North Carolina. You also have that flood watch still up in many of the rivers that are still rising. Unrelated, should mention, Oklahoma City had their wettest August day on record, more than 6.5 inches. More of that flash flood risk does come to parts of Arkansas, Missouri. As we go through the days, I'll be talking about that coming up, Michael.
A lot of rain out there.
Yeah.
All right, Ginger, thank you so much for that. Going to turn now to the end of the summer games, but before the closing ceremony, the U.S. women's basketball team had a nail-biter to bring home the gold. Lara's here with the highlights. Good morning, Lara.
So happy to be here. Good morning to you all. Yeah, this Olympics kept fans around the world on their toes from the start, with an over-the-top opening ceremony to the incredible events held at Paris landmarks, and even down to the very last moments with Team USA giving it everything they had to bring home even more gold in women's basketball. The Americans' 40th gold medal in France came down to the final seconds. France's Gabby Williams, a dual citizen of the U.S. and France, hitting a potential buzzer beater at the end of regulation to tie the game. But with her foot on the three-point line, the basket only counts for 2 points, enabling Team USA to escape with a 1-point victory. France, coming out of the gate at halftime, quickly building a 10-point lead, the biggest deficit the U.S. had faced all tournament. But the USA scraped their way back thanks to a team of veterans, including A'ja Wilson, whose 21 points and 13 rebounds helped bring USA basketball's 8th consecutive gold medal. Brittany Griner among the gold medalists, the Paris Games marking her first international competition since her detainment in Russia. Griner overcome with emotion on the podium as they played the Star-Spangled Banner. And more golden moments over the weekend as the USA men's basketball team, led by Steph Curry, won their 5th straight Olympic gold medal, also beating France. And the gold medals didn't stop there. U.S. women's soccer golden again, beating a tough Brazilian team 1-0, reclaiming the top spot on the podium for the first time since 2012. And on the track, both men and women winning gold in the 4x400 relay, all in record time, the women finishing with an almost 4-second lead on the rest of the field. We were all just saying, so much fun to watch every event, and we want to take a look at the final medal count. The U.S. and China leading the way with golds, tied at 40, but the U.S. with a huge lead in overall. The big tally, 126 medals for us. Runner-up China, they left with 91. Great Britain left with 65. But guys, don't forget, the Paralympics begin August 28th in Paris and will continue through September 8th. Amazing sports all happening in Paris.
I'm glad that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
People sometimes forget that.